There we go. Unmute myself would be smart. Yeah, we got sound, but it's clipping a bit. Jimmy, hello. How's it going? I'm like listening back on my phone to make sure all the sound's good still. It's been a while. Okay, cool. I say it's been a while. It's been the same amount of time as it usually is. Like a month, as per, you know me. But we're back doing another stream. Gonna do some fun stuff, working on bits. Nice to be doing another live stream. I'm gonna do a little bit of a waffle at the start so that it's documented. I'll probably make a video to go alongside, but there's a few things changing. For one, I have a new job. Hasn't started yet, but I'm currently in my last week at my current job, which is it's sad to be leaving the old job, obviously, you know. Made a lot of friends, lots of cool co-workers, really nice. Just experience generally being there, but I've been there for 4 years, so the time has come for me to move on to the next step, and that's cool. So I start that in January, and yeah, like I say, I'm in my last week at my current job at the moment. I finish on Wednesday. I'm on holiday at the moment as well, just for the record. I've got today and yesterday off work, but it means I've got like a solid 2-3 weeks over the Christmas period to be working on games, which is cool. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to just kind of ploughing some time into that. What is the new job? It's a site reliability engineer job, which is like infrastructure management, basically like DevSecOps, lots of cloud-based infrastructure, orchestration, automating of infrastructure, kind of more back-end development type stuff as far as, you know, managing cloud VMs and network management, security management, and a lot of it is in the security space. So there's limits to the amount of detail I can go into on things, but it's all very cool. I'm very excited. The team there seems really nice. The whole recruitment process with them has been really, really fun, really pleasant, and the office is really cool as well. So yeah, very, very excited for that. But that's thing number one. Thing number two, I've been, you know, thinking about the channel, thinking about the studio, sort of dealing with things, because to go into a bit of like backstory around all the game studio and stuff, obviously it's been 2 years since I started this thing up, and I think, you know, over those 2 years I've spent a lot of time kind of let's do a bit more backstory first of all. So I've been making games in Unity on and off for give or take 11-12 years. I probably started making games full stop when I was about 9, and have been like I say, dabbling with it on and off ever since. And Shubadog Studios was like me saying properly, you know, having seen people like Thomas Brush and like Toby Fox and even smaller developers who make games and kind of starting to understand more of the business side of things, I said to myself after doing Ludum Dare, I think it was 42 at the time or something like that. But yeah, after doing that Ludum Dare and kind of reigniting my passion for games again, I was like, okay, I want to take this seriously. I want to make it happen properly. And that was what this channel and everything was supposed to be. It was just supposed to be kind of accountability for getting me to do stuff properly, and execute on that. And there was a lot of things just externally in terms of, you know, workload, university, health, that made that a little bit more difficult. But I think I was putting too much focus on the metrics behind it. It's that classic kind of doing things like YouTube and the social media, and I was paying a lot of attention to, especially after the art style revamp on Echo, because that video took off. Like compared to the others, I was averaging, sort of 100, 200 views on videos, and then in the first week of this video being up, it was up in like the 1.5k, and it gained me like more than half of the people who are currently subscribed to the channel. And I was just like, I got a bit bogged down in that, and as I said on Twitter, for those of you who follow me on Twitter, a bit lost in the sauce, as the phrase goes. So I really want to put some effort this year, 2 years on from starting. I really want to just pull back, go back to my roots, just make games because I enjoy making games. And I still will pay attention to things like some of the metrics, being able to make some form of income, because obviously now I'm working with or trying to work with other people on this as well. I want to be able to give them some sustainability, some like reason for being in this that justifies them spending time on stuff. And yeah, so I still need to give some attention to that, but I want to scale it back a lot more and just really make stuff because I enjoy making stuff, and focus on doing the things I enjoy doing, because there's been a good handful of times over the past year or so where I just haven't been enjoying doing the stuff because I'm putting so much pressure on it. So starting from now, and especially in the new year, there's probably there's going to be no improvement to the amount of content that goes up. I don't imagine it'll still be relatively infrequent, but I'm not gonna stress about that, and I'm not gonna be like hammering myself trying to get stuff done, because ultimately I want to make content that's valuable for you guys. I want to make content that's enjoyable for me to make, and I want to go back to that original community vibe that we had in the March of 2021 when we first launched the Discord server, and that video went where like took off a bit. And yeah, just talk more about games, work on projects more consistently. There's lots of projects spinning as per, and I like it that way. It slows down release times on things, and I'm kind of sad about that, but not really sorry about it, because I just have so many ideas. I'm a creative director / designer at heart, and as much as I know how to do things like the coding and some of the art stuff and things like that, I much more just enjoy making prototypes and making little experiments and stuff that I can make videos about, post on Twitter about, share things and all the rest of it. So that's a little spiel there. I'll make a proper video sort of explaining all of my thought process and all that behind it in a bit. And then content-wise on the channel, we'll have like various things now moving forwards, like devlogs, day in the life ofs, maybe some video essay type stuff, weird little rambly videos when I've got things to ramble about, all the rest of it. And chances are I'll probably rebrand the channel as well to not be Shibadog Studios anymore, but be something more along the lines of like Cuba Makes Games, which is what I've changed my Twitter handle over to. And basically just try and make the whole thing more personal, because that's kind of what I want to move to. And that'll either, like I say, happen in the form of rebranding this channel, or I'll start up a new channel, switch over, and start uploading more general content there, with this channel just remaining for things like trailers or like video blog posts, like videos to tie into blog posts on the website, things like that. So yeah, hopefully it moves in a good direction. It's exciting. I'm looking forward to doing stuff in that way, and it should be good. So final thing I want to talk about is games that we have released, because it's I haven't made any noise about games that we have actually made and released. We've talked about Echo, we've talked about Square Off, but outside of that, we've actually released 4 games on itch. All small pretty janky games, but they are released. They're things that are done, things that you can go and play right now, which actually, if we just do a quick hop on over to the itch.io, let's take a look at what we got here. So yeah, it's basically just jam style games. We've got oh, what's going on with my screen there? Let's fix that real quick. Hold on. Oh wait, I know what's happened. Let me just it might mess up some of my other stuff, possibly. I'm like having to watch between places. Yeah, that's moved that out of place. There we go. Cool. Professional. So yeah, we've got a few different games out. There's obviously Square Off, I'm just saying is released now. I've kind of fallen out of love with the project, and the version that's up on itch is completely playable. There's probably some quality of life stuff that I could do with putting in, which I don't know about because I did minimal playtesting with it. Lessons learned from that, which is great, but you can play it, you can download it, it's free, and it's there, which is great. So I'm kind of drawing a line underneath that. Not going to worry too much about getting it out on Steam. Maybe one day I'll come back to it, but for now I want to move on to other stuff. Purgatory Gatekeeper is a really fun one. I actually loved working on this. It was the first game that me and Jaden made, who's another one of the guys working with the studio. He actually is more focused on visuals, both in the 3D realm and in VFX area, and he's actually quite good at what he's doing and trying to break into that area of things, which is really awesome, and I'm looking forward to getting him in on some more projects with that. But this was basically like a Papers, Please style thing where people come into Purgatory, and you have to judge them based on their life and choose whether they're going to the good place or the bad place, how long they're going there for, and what the activity that they're going to be doing there is based on how they lived their life. Very simple game loop, kind of mobile style. Yeah, just a fun, silly little thing that we made in a couple of days. And yeah, really enjoyed that. Tapestry is another kind of passion project. It's a roguelike, turn-based movement, turn-based actions, was really fun. We had a lot more dreams for what we wanted to actually achieve with this. Again, me and Jaden worked on this one, and it's semi-polished, kind of unpolished, but again, playable. You can just see how far you get, and it's kind of entertaining just to play around with the different enemy types and items, and I think I'll probably want to come back to this one again in future. Covalent. Love this one. This was my submission to the Wanna Yam Game Jam, made in like a handful of days. The jam was like, I think 10 days long, but I didn't have 10 days to work on it, so I just kind of did stuff as and when, and it actually came out really cool. I was really proud of the sound design on this one, and the premise is you spawn in molecules, bond them together and discover new molecules. I think there's 10 molecules to discover in total, and it's just like a fun sandbox kind of puzzle game, so that one's cool. And finally we have Relic, which is the most recent release. The current version is massively bugged. I'm aware of that. I'm working on an update for it, which will be going out this side of Christmas, but it's your standard kind of walking simulator horror game. It's based in a mansion with this creepy, many-eyed, tall creature chasing you about the place, and you've got to try and collect all of the relic statues before he catches you, or without getting caught. And there's things like safe rooms that you can hide in to stay away. And this was the first project that me and Jaden worked on with our sound designer Matt, and the sound design came out so good on this. It's really atmospheric. Yeah, really fun experience. In terms of known bugs on it, there's a sensitivity issue, which I fixed in development, again in the update that's going to be going out this side of Christmas. And there was also some bugs with the AI on the enemy, which make it kind of busted. So I fixed up those, and again, those will be going out in the update this side of Christmas. So just for any of the people who maybe don't follow quite as closely, or who don't follow on Twitter, where I do actually make more noise about this stuff. There's 5 games out here for people to play, and I would really love feedback on all of them, and to hear kind of what you guys think about stuff, and what direction we can take things moving forwards. So yeah, I think that's everything from my pre-ramble over. So let's actually talk about what we're doing today. I've been working on a prototype, as per, for a roguelike, which is what I'm intending to be a reincarnation of Echo. And that's exciting, because Echo was like my dream game idea. So I'm redoing that. I've been playing loads of Link's Awakening at the moment, and so a lot of the feature set that I want for this game is going to be very Link's Awakening inspired. We're going to have top-down 3D graphics, procedurally generated lock and key dungeons where key rooms will be either puzzles or gauntlets, so something like sliding blocks around in a certain orientation, like soccer band things basically, or maybe it'll be switching lights in a certain order, or it'll be killing a load of enemies, and then it will drop a key out, and you can use that key to unlock a door, progress further in the dungeon. At the end of the dungeon there's an exit, blah blah blah. We'll have shops, power-ups, all those sorts of fun stuff, and I intend it on being that you have a sword and shield like normal, and then much like in your classic Zelda games, you've also got items which you can equip to the X and Y buttons, or triangle and square buttons in the case of PlayStation controller, and those will be things like hook shots, bombs, maybe like a teleporter or a jumping thing like in Link's Awakening, and I feel really excited about working on this thing. There's a couple of other prototypes that are in the works as well, which we might touch in future streams, but for this stream we're going to be looking at this Link's Awakening thing, so let's hop right on over and see what we got so far. So yeah, in Unity let me save this scene actually. I'll show you what we've got in the sample scene, because I've been playing around, like I say, with some procedural generation for this, generating dungeons using a lock and key format, and so we've got I'm like watching on my phone to make sure the size is okay, but we can see here we've got a I need to drop in my controllers, because I changed a bunch of stuff over last night to better handle input, because I want to have local multiplayer on this, in the same way that I did on Square Off. Prefab is immutable, applying is not possible, prefab file contains an invalid script. Okay, fine. Let's go back to oh, my screen resolution is small compared to how I usually have it. Yeah, I was changing stuff last night to sort of make things better supported for local multiplayer, because one of the main things with Unity's input system as well is the whole point of it is to make things like local multiplayer easier, but I want to have the player input and the player's data decoupled from things like the movement controller or the combat as components from an architecture point of view, because, you know, maybe I want to have a player ghost like in Spelunky, where the player dies and you can run around as a ghost but not injure anything, or like combat buttons do different stuff, and that would be a different game object with different different components on it, but it still needs the player input, right? So we can't just spawn in those player controllers with Unity's standard multiplayer player input manager component. So we've got this player controller object here, which I hope is somewhat visible on screen, and that actually handles all of the input and passes that component through to our player pawns and our player UI systems and things like that, and we just tap into the what's-majignits. What am I trying to say? Tap that into the... Nah, my brain's gone. My brain's gone. Yeah, tap into the input controller. There we go. So we can get input through dynamically, and that wasn't what I had originally. I've also just spotted that I'm getting harassed by my friends about live streaming because I accidentally streamed to the wrong stream key and messed up what I was streaming to. Cool. So yeah, I just need to fix this prefab and then I can actually show what's going on. I should be able to apply this now. Save that there. Not bad, Cube. Hey guys, hey, welcome in. It's nice to see all your faces. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you liking the cube. The red cube, not gonna lie, that's a Sebastian Lake thing. I fully nabbed that from him in his, I think it was the top-down shooter tutorial series that he did. I completely agree with him. The default Unity blue camera sucks. It looks horrible. And red is a nice color for the player to start with. Alan, I am gonna make you procrastinate. It's cool. It's almost Christmas. We'll be okay. So, here's what we got so far. I should be able to move around now. No, oh yeah, forgot to assign the thing. Bang. Delete our input controller from here. Drag a new one in. Drag our player pawn into the controller. And I'm not worrying about health management yet. We're going to get onto that in this stream. Cool. Too weak to watch this live. So oh, no worries. Well, thanks for stopping by anyway. I hope you enjoy the stream later and make sure to say hi in Discord and things, and get chatting. Thank you. Solid music. Yeah, man. Yeah. We're making Zelda-inspired stuff, so the Zelda music's got to be the way. I think it might be the Ocarina of Time, Zora's Domain. Yeah, I think it's Ocarina of Time, Zora's Domain. Yeah, pretty sure. Okay, so let's talk about this dungeon generator. So I've got my guy that can move around. We can move between the rooms. Very classic. And this was surprisingly easy to set up. I've been trying to make a camera system and room system like this for years and never been able to figure it out. And I finally got it. So everything's set up with like basic templates at the moment. Key room symbolizes this is a room that will have a key in it. These brown doors are locked doors that we can't get through until we have the key from said room. And then we've got various other rooms around the dungeon that will get generated randomly, and I can generate a new dungeon for this as well, which of course doesn't move my player because I'm using the player controller, and for some reason it doesn't like that. But all of the room stuff is dynamic. I can move myself around the place, and Cinemachine has made my life so very easy. But it's really cool. So all of this works fantastically. It generates dungeons with locks that can always have the keys accessed by the player. And this was actually really cool. It was based on a video by... I can't for the life of me remember what the channel was. I'll have to see if I can find the video, and I'll stick a link for it in my Discord server if anyone's interested. But it's basically... went through the logic of graph rewriting and lock and key dungeon generation using computer science style graphs, so nodes and edges. And what we effectively do, let's just take a look at the script actually while we're here. I don't have it open. So yeah, the first part is this dungeon generator. So we specify how many rooms we want in the dungeon, how many keys we want, and then what's the minimum depth that those keys can be spawned at, or that the locks can be spawned at. And then we have a private int max depth. I don't know why I've still got that in there. I think I grabbed it from elsewhere, but I'm going to leave it just in case. So yeah, the way we do this is we basically just create a graph in world space. So we spawn in a bunch of nodes with coordinates, completely random. They all just have to be in some way connected. And the way that we do that is just by picking picking a 0, 0 position and then going in random directions. If we hit a place that we've already been to, we'll go to another node that's already been created and start doing the same thing from there. And we do that until we've got the same number of nodes as we've defined in our dungeon size. From that, we then do a generation of a minimum spanning tree, which is achieved by picking a random start node out of all the nodes that we've just generated and doing a breadth first search across all of the nodes, creating connections only between the nodes that we searched through first, effectively. So that changes it from being a graph where all of the nodes are connected to their adjacent nodes to just being the minimum spanning tree. I.e. every node only connects to one other node in as you'd imagine, a tree structure. After that, we then generate our lock and keys, which this one's a little bit more involved, but much the same. We do, again, a breadth first search over all of our nodes to get them in order of depth, basically. And then we just oh wait, I'm looking at the wrong method. This is the one I want to be looking at. Yeah, breadth first search, go over everything, assign them a value for depth based on that breadth first search, and then we go over each of them just in a list ordered by the depth. Pick a room at random to place a lock, and then pick a room with a depth value lower than that or further forward in the array to put the key, which just ensures that the key is always going to be before the lock. And for some reference as well, this actually generates some very nice, consistent lock and key relationships. So we can see here our start node is one of these black ones. I've used a gradient from black to grey to represent the depth, where grey is as deep as you'll go and black is as shallow as you'll go. And we can see that the keys, the coloured keys match their coloured rooms, and all of these are being spawned before the room that they map to in terms of how the player would progress through the dungeon. So this is really cool and actually surprisingly easy, and something that I would have never thought about until I started diving down this rabbit hole of, you know, looking into the graphs and this video that this guy did, which again, I'll update the description of this live stream with the link to that video and also post it out on my Discord server if you're in there already. So yeah, this is a really cool system. I also want to add in a way to like loop things back into each other so we can get some you know, some more Zelda-style backtracking, especially where Link's Awakening is concerned. Like I say, I've been playing a lot of Link's Awakening at the moment and really enjoying it. But that's going to take a bit more consideration for things like placement of locks and making sure that depth values line up correctly so we don't make a loop behind a locked door. Even though, yeah, like if two branches came off, let's see if there's a situation I can use in this example, actually, because explaining things makes my brain hurt. So yeah, like this section in the middle here, for example, where we've got the green room at the top, our new algorithm might decide we're going to take this grey room and link it into the green room next to it because they're adjacent, but that would defeat the point of having the green lock to unlock that door, because we'd just be able to go straight through into that locked room, which is not what we want to do. So yeah, I just need to keep track of those depths. The alternative as well, or another way to think about it, is rather than having keys line up to specific rooms, we can have a small key system where there's just a number of locks and a number of keys and they all line up and you can use whatever key with whatever door. That just needs a little bit more consideration because there's a chance that more keys could spawn behind the locked doors than they do in front of, and if players use keys in the wrong place, then suddenly they can't get to all avenues of the dungeon. So we'd either have to guarantee that the boss room or the exit room is always accessible, or that the player can always get to all of the keys, and it just feels like a fun dungeon. I like that this is tickling your brain in a nice way, Alan, because it definitely tickled mine in a good way as well. Had to do a lot of thinking, but it was actually surprisingly simple to implement. So yeah, this is really cool, and the best part as well is it's completely decoupled from any visuals. So we then have this second component, the dungeon builder, which takes that dungeon generator, generates the dungeon node list from that, and then builds our rooms based on those node placements and all the rest of it. So that's kind of cool, pretty fun, pretty nice. Make enemies drop keys on chance, Binding of Isaac style. That's not a bad shout. The only qualm I have with that is that I want to have it much like Legend of Zelda style. I want to have it so that there's not necessarily like, it's not just killing enemies to get keys, right? Like, we can have puzzle rooms where you've got to flick switches in a certain order, or maybe there's a like a platformer type room, or like a skill test room where you've got to like move over blocks in a certain speed or something, jump over platforms to get to a key in the corner type vibe. Things like that that just break up the gameplay a little bit, because I don't want it to be purely combat driven. But it's stuff that I'll get onto eventually. I'm gonna take a swig of tea. So yeah, very cool. Very happy with this. The camera as well was amazingly simple to set up with Cinemachine. And the best part is that it supports multiple players. So if I just make a duplicate of my player real quick, I can leave him in here, and it supports multiple rooms. So people can wander around the dungeon as and how they like within reason. You know, if you go too far, then it's not gonna fit everything in anymore. But it's really cool. It means people can just explore. And yeah, that was something that I really wanted to achieve with this. And the way we've done that is really simple. We're just using a Cinemachine target group, but we're putting the rooms as the targets, not the players. And that's great, because obviously that means it works for just one player. Look, let's delete that guy. Works for just one player because it means that we're only going to have one thing in the list, and it's not working here because it's using trigger zones in the player. The other player didn't exit the box. But basically the way I'm setting it up is when a player enters a room, we just fire off an event with that room, which then the camera controller responds to, and will dynamically add and remove rooms from the list. And then the thing that's making the nice soft edge around the thing, like in classic Link Awakening style, is just a sprite. Very, very interesting. Or not very interesting, very simple. And yeah, really cool, really easy to set up. So that's that. But anyway, 35 minutes into the stream, let's actually get on with what we were looking at doing today, which is combat. And I wanna set up a basic sword so that we can get some swinging going and detect some hits and start figuring out a way to do some damage. So that is what we're going to work on today. Alan's asking when I'm going to try Godot. I don't know if I ever will. I probably will at some point, maybe just to play around with it. I know you can write in C# in it, so that's fine. I just need to learn the workflow of things. Maybe I'll do it in a game jam or something at some point. I mean, you know, if you ever want to do a game jam, we can use Godot. That would be quite fun, actually. But yeah, don't know when I'll get around to Godot. Cool, so let's create a little 3D object. I'm going to make a cube, which I'm going to call my test dummy. Let's reset his position. I'm actually going to create an empty. And this will be my graphics. I'm going to put graphics under the test dummy, reset, reset. move him up 0.5 so that he's on top, and then let's move the guy back a little bit. We are going to remove the box collider from the graphics, and we are instead going to create, we're going to put, first of all, we're going to put a box collider on the parent, which, let's zoom in here so we can see what's going on. We're going to have to move this up 0.5 so it sits in line with the cube. I'm going to give him a material, which I made yesterday, dummy material. Ooh! I forget that I've got the cover on this room template. Let's take that off there. Pop my dummy on the graphics, on the dummy. Did I delete I deleted the directional light. Let's add a light back in so we've got some shadows. We're going to set the intensity to 0.2. And I want the X rotation to be somewhere around here. No, Y rotation like that, X rotation. Yeah, something like that, And of course, I want it to cast soft shadows. Nice, cool. So now we've got a bit of a nicer look to our little scene here. So yeah, the way that we're gonna do, oh actually let's have a look. How big of a project is this? I don't know. I don't know yet. It would be nice to release it somewhere. I've got a few different projects that I have different platforms that aren't PC, which I'm looking at doing. Specifically, I'm kind of like, I'm trying to focus hard on building something that I can port to Nintendo Switch, because that was like a dream goal since starting the studio, or before then even, you know, back when I was in college when the Switch first came out. I've always wanted to just release something on Nintendo Switch, so that's one thing. And then there's some mobile stuff that I'm looking at as well. But this project could be like a month and I'll say that I'm done with it, or it might grow depending on how people respond, I guess. So as it progresses, make sure you let me know what you think, and I'll see if we can scale it up. But it will at least be out on itch. So no worries there. So I am going to create a empty underneath this, which I'm going to call my hitbox. So yeah, to explain what we're doing, right after I add a box collider for that, the system that we're using here is based on a system again that another YouTuber created, and I will once again put a link in the description / in my Discord server if you guys want to check it out. But the basic theory is that we have 4 components. We have a hitbox and a hurtbox. Hurtbox being the thing that scans over something, detects if there's a thing there, and then if there's a hitbox there, it's like, I found a hitbox, let's generate some data and do the things we need to do. So that's the first part, is the thing that does the attack and the thing that detects an attack. And then there's the responders. There's a hit responder and a hurt responder, both of which will do their own checks to validate the hit data. And we can do things like checking, you know, elements. If the thing that we've hit is fire and we're using a water thing, then we can invalidate the data or return false on that. We can do all sorts of checks to decide if we want to confirm the hit, and then return true. And once that's done, the responders, the hit responder and the hurt responder, do what they need to do in terms of processing that data. So just to take a look here, yeah, hurt responder will do its response for a hurt, and hit responder will do its response for a hit. So in the hit responder, for example, we maybe want durability on our weapons. In this method, we can reduce the weapon's remaining durability based on the thing that it's hit, or based on the damage that it's dealt. And then obviously in the hurt responder, we can deal some damage to the thing that's been hurt. play animations, create particle effects, whatever we need to do. The joy is that everything is decoupled and they're all as interfaces, so we can implement these as we need to, almost using a sort of mediator pattern approach, but I don't know if I would class it as that, because we don't have a specific one class that deals with the interaction between different implementations of the hurt responder and the hit or hit detector. So first things first, we need to create a new layer which we're going to call hitbox. I think I want to call it hitbox. Maybe I want to call it hurtbox. No, I do want it to be hitbox. So that is going to be our boy here. Going to stick our hitbox on there as such. Hit layer is going to be hitbox, as we would guess. Oh no! Yeah. What we actually want to do. Hold on, I need to remember how I've implemented this. What is my hitbox class looking like? Yeah, that's fine. Cool. So let's put this back on the default layer. I'm going to go back to my layers and we're going to rename this to hurtbox, because we want this to be the layer on which our hurtboxes exist. And then we'll have a hitbox component on here which is going to respond to the hurtbox layer, and we can say it's an enemy. So this is another cool thing. We can define what hitboxes and what hurtboxes respond to which other hitboxes and hurtboxes, whether it's everything, just player, just enemy, allies, props. So this one I'm going to have respond just to the player. We don't want it to respond to the enemy, because we don't want enemies to be able to hurt themselves. Cool. So one thing that I also want to do is make sure that, you know what, let's not make life more difficult for ourselves than we need to. We'll just stick it on the parent. Respond to hurtbox. We just want to respond to the player, not enemies. Cool. And then we have that. I'm also going to add a rigid body to this, which I am going to freeze its position on Y. And what we're going to do is now that we have this hitbox, we'll create an implementation of the hit responder, which we will call dummy or test dummy. I might even have a class for it already. And then in that we can have the response be to add some force to our rigid body based on the hit angle of our sword slice, or whatever it may be. That's the joy as well. We can have things like a hook shot that can do a different thing. We can choose to stun enemies through that hit response rather than dealing damage to them. And it can all be, again, completely decoupled, but it will still have the same responder for the hitbox, just a different responder for the hurtbox. So let's go ahead and create ourselves a test dummy. Pop this open in Visual Studio. And it's going to be a mono behavior as we imagine, but we're also going to implement I hit responder. So we will create a wait, do I want a hit responder or do I want a hurt responder? I think I want a hurt responder, sorry. Hurt responder, I'm going to delete all of these. Yeah, that's better. So let's have a private rigid body RB. Create an awake method. We'll say RB equals get component rigid body, and of course, because we're doing a get component for this, we will add a require component for that rigid body. so that we don't end up with annoying little runtime errors. In check hit, I'm just going to return true because we don't need to worry too much at the moment for what's happening here. And then in the response, we are going to do rb.addForce, and we are going to use data dot, and I wonder if I included information about the hit in here, which I don't think I did. Actually, no, you know what, we can calculate it. So in this data, if we have a look at our hit data class, we've got the hurt box that did the damage, and we've obviously got ourselves, which is the hit detector or the hitbox. So this is gonna respond to that. We can go in here and we can say vector 3, I guess hit direction is equal to, and we're going to do the direction from the thing that hit us to ourselves. So we need to do data dot hurt box dot owner dot transform dot position. Bit of a waffle, but again, this is for testing. We can refactor, move the data over, minus our transform dot position, and we're going to normalize that. And then we can say rb dot add force hit direction multiplied by data dot damage. And then we want to use force mode impulse, like so. Cool. So theoretically, that's our dummy can now take damage. And I'll tell you what, let's also do a debug.log dummy took, dumped. Let's put a $sign in there for some string interpolation. Dummy took, and then data.damage damage exclamation mark, and we'll also pass through this as the second component so that we can click on it in the inspector and make sure that we're looking at the right thing. So that's part number one. Now we need to implement our hurt box, which is going to be the player's weapon. And I think I'm debating how I want to do this. I think for the time being, I probably just want to implement it as a like directly in the combat controller, just with. I kind of want to do some animation. Yeah. Let's just do it with animation. So this is going to be similar to how we did in the last live stream. We'll go under our, not our test dummy, on our player pawn. I'm going to create an empty called sword. Going to move it up 0.5 so it's in the middle of our player. Nice and good. And I'm going to create a cube underneath this. And this is going to be our hurt box implementation here. So let's set up some scaling. Give it a Y scale of 0.1, maybe an X of 0.2, and a Z of no, let's leave it at 1 actually, so that the player can attack 1 unit in front of themselves. That feels fair. And we'll give this a material as well, which I'm going to make a slightly lighter blue steel. Like so. And the reason that we have this in an empty for the sword is now we can take this and swing it around and it does cool fun stuff. which is always nice. Yeah, cool. And I also, because I like trail renderers, I'm going to add a trail renderer on here. Which we will have trail off at the end in this kind of a shape. Material, we are going to use the same sword material that we've got just for the time being, and now you can see we've got some nice swing going on. If I align it with the transform Z, nah, that's not what I want. That's got it. Yeah, nah. We are going to have it aligned with the view. I'm just going to take this first width down a bit, maybe like 0.85. And we'll also have the time be like 0.1 because we don't want it to be lasting for ages. We're going to set the opacity down on this end to 0, which means I need to just make sure I go into my sword material, make it transparent. So now we should get a sword that... No transparency. Not feeling it. Don't fancy it. Not for me. Fine. We'll allow it. So... Stop. We are going to... I'm going to reset the rotation on that real quick. Let's create a couple of animations quickly. So I want my animation window open. I'm going to create sword underscore default. The graphics, new folder called animations. That's not how you spell animations. Animations, sword, and yeah, sword default. Hit save. This is literally going to be one thing that is just the cube disabled. And then we'll create a new clip called sword underscore swing. We are going to enable our cube. We are going to take our sword's rotation and swing it over to like, I guess -90. Yeah, let's do a full 180 swing, and then we'll go like a quarter of a second ahead and move it to 90. That might be super fast. Oh, never mind. It's super slow. Take that to like 0.1 of a second. And I'm also going to just tweak the curve so that we have a better easing shape on this, because we wanna start fast and finish slow. So something like that. So then we got more motion at the start, less motion at the end. I think maybe if I set this to 80 and then we can move forward to here, have it at 90. Make sure that curve is nice and smooth, and then we get a nice... Get the weight at the end. Yeah. Bring these maybe just a little closer. Something like that. Yeah, that's cool. And then we're going to put in some events so that we can control the resetting of our attacks. Cool. So, yeah, no, I am going to separate it out. So we're going to go into our combat control components. I'm going to create a new folder called weapons. And we're going to create a C# script called weapon. And I think this is actually going to be, we're going to make this abstract. Abstract class weapon will be a mono behavior, and it's going to implement hurtbox, which, as you can see, has a lot of parameters. So we're going to create some private backing parameters first of all for these. So let's have serialized field, private bool, active, active naming conventions, serialized field, private. In fact, this doesn't need to be a serialized field, I don't think. Private, game object, owner. Want a serialized field for private hurtbox type, and we'll just call this type. No, we'll call it hurtbox type. Wait a minute, I've implemented the wrong one. We have a hurtbox. I don't want to use hurtbox, I want to use iHurtResponder. There we go. Let's get rid of all of this real quick. And what we'll do actually, we'll have a serialized field private hurt box, which will be our hurt box. And that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. I've lost track of something. Where does our damage... It's in... Damage is in the hit responder. Is it? Yeah, damage is in the hit responder. I think I've probably named that wrong. No, I haven't. Oh, no. Wrong thing. Wrong class. You're fine. You're fine. Hurtbox is fine. Hit data is fine. You should be hit responder. There we go. There we go. Why are you hit responder? I didn't change that. Oh, what's happened here? What's wrong with you? What? Oh, have I generated the class by accident? Not you. No, why does this always happen? If I delete that from there and hit save, how is everything not working? Yeah, hurt responder now doesn't exist. Did I somehow rename it by accident? Oh no, I think I renamed it by accident somehow. Because yeah, we've got... Okay, brain function. The hurt responder is the thing that responds to the hurt box. What does a hurt box have? A hurt box has a hit responder. And a hitbox has a hurt responder. Oh, I've messed something up. Hurt responder. Hurt box has a hurt responder. You should be I hurt responder. I'm gonna say it should be this one is the I hurt responder, because that feels like it makes sense with how I line things up. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Might go terribly wrong, might be fine. Let's have a serialized field private int nope int damage. And then damage here can just return our damage value. Check hit will return true. And the response is going to be debug.log. We hit something. Yes. No. Hurt responder. There we go. Oh my gosh, how did this happen? How did this happen? No errors now. No errors. Good. So, oh dearie me. Right, let's try this again. I'm going to take the sword. I am going to put onto here a hurt box, and the combat controller should be the hurt responder. But instead we've got an abstract weapon class, which for the time being, let's not make weapon abstract. Let's just make it normal, because I need to figure out where we're at right now. So this is going to be on hurt box layer. Weapon, hurt box, damage is 1. This is going to be a player hurt box, and the owner is going to be the player pawn, and it's going to be active. So I should be able to take this sword, drag it so that it intersects with our dude here. Where's my... Oh, it's... Yeah. because of the animation. Let's disable. Let's try this again. Let's try this again. Recenter. There we go. So we have sword. Take sword. We hit person. Nothing is being printed out. Which is interesting. I feel like something should be. Oh, have I done things completely the wrong way around? I think I have. I think I've done things completely the wrong way around, and we need to, yeah, because this, yeah. So we shouldn't have a hurt box on here. We should have a hitbox on here. Box collider is this. Hit layer is hurt box. Yeah. And the hurt box mask. I want the sword to be able to just hit enemies. Oh, and props. Enemies, props. So that way we can smash pots as well. And then the test dummy needs a hurt box. Here we go. Yep, I'm getting back on track now. So I'm going to create an empty, which is going to be my hurt box. Hurt box, add component, box collider. Let's move you up by 1.5 even. There we go. And then the test dummy is going to have a hit responder. I'm not sure yet, actually. Wait, did I add a hitbox instead of a hurt box? Oh, I haven't added it yet. Hurt box. Ha! Yeah, so you need a hurt box. You are going to be a prop, not an enemy. The owner is going to be our test dummy. And we're going to say it's active. I need to actually call check hit on my hitbox, don't I? Just Hold on. So if the hurt box is not wait, brain. I need to. on hitbox. Hit detector. Yeah, I'm not checking anything anywhere. So I'd expect that not to do anything. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, it also shouldn't be pushing it because the hurtbox layer. Oh, I need to set up the hurtbox layer so that it doesn't collide with anything. So let's do that. Physics. Scroll down here. Hurtbox. We are going to just uncheck all of our collisions, like so. And then yes, that makes sense. And let's have, I've got a hurt box. You shouldn't be a hurt box, you should be a hit box. And then in update, let's do check hit. I'm going to rename this obviously to hitbox. Okay. Still nothing. Still nothing. Test dummy has a hurt box. My sword. Yep. You're on the right layer. Sword. You should not be on hurt box. You should be on default. Oof, now it's doing weird things with the... Oh, man. I'm determined to figure out why this is busted. So we have our hit data. That's fine. This gets So when we have a thing hit something else, yeah, that's a question. Do we want our hitbox? Active owner. Yeah, so the hitbox is the thing that we want to check for hits. That's fine. So we're gonna check for stuff. Tell you what, let's go on the test dummy. Let's just disable this box collider real quick. So we've only got the hurt box on there, and it is a prop. Yes, that makes sense, and it is active. So that hurt box, yeah. If hurt responder is null, we should have a hurt responder on the dummy. Where am I getting that hurt responder from? That's a good question. It must be in... No, where am I getting that hurt responder from? I suppose I just need to set it. So my test dummy, let's have a serialized field private hurt box, I guess. Hurt box. And in our start method, let's say hurt box dot hurt responder equals this. Not that should be a thing to worry about for the time being, because we're not actually getting a response from our hit full stop now at the moment. So our weapon has a hitbox, right? Sword. Oh, have I just not... haven't put the flipping scripts on there, have I? Right. What did I put the weapon script on then? Because I've put the weapon somewhere. I remember putting the weapons... Can someone please confirm for me that I'm not tripping and that I did indeed put the weapon script on something? Because I swear I put the weapon script on something. Cube should not be on the hurt box layer. But I don't think it should be colliding with anything either. Got no reference exception on the test dummy. Haven't set the hurt box. So now, let's go. But it's taking 0 damage. But it is taking damage. Okay, okay. Great. Great. Great, 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 great. I need to set the hit responder. So start, nope, not static, start. Let's do hitbox.hit responder equals this. And now we should be able to see that it gets one thing. Or it takes 1 damage, sorry, not gets one thing. Yeah, we hit something and it took 1 damage. Fantastic. This is great. Okay, okay, that's progress. So, next step, we're going to strip a whole bunch of that stuff out of the sword. We're actually going to make a new subclass called sword that handles the behavior for how the sword should work. Because a weapon should be a weapon. It's going to have damage. It's going to have a hitbox. We're going to make these virtual. Yep, protected. Virtual, do the same, protected, virtual. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. I'm also going to make this virtual. I mean... I'm going to do it like this for the time being. I'm going to do it like this for the time being because maybe I'll just implement things separately moving forwards. You know what? Yeah, no, screw it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it all in one. You're not going to be abstract. We're going to rename this to sword. Sword. They're going to be private, public bool, yep. And what we will do is we'll have a private list of hit box. No, hurt box. Previous, or well, registered hits. And what we'll do in here, we'll say if registered hits dot contains data dot hurtbox, as hurtbox. Nice. So if we've already registered, oh no, we can just have this as iHurtbox because it's the same thing. So if we've already hit the thing, then we're going to return false because we don't want to hit things more than once. Otherwise, we will do registered hits.add data.hurtbox and return true. And then down here, I'm going to say we hit something, and I'm actually going to say what we hit, data.hurtbox.owner. And that is a game object. Yep. Cool. So then I want to add a couple of extra methods on here. We're going to have a public void perform or try perform attack. Which we're gonna have a private bool can attack. We're also going to have a private animator sword animator. So in try perform attack, we're going to say if can attack is false. So if we can't attack, we will return. Otherwise, we'll say can attack equals false. And we'll do our animator.set trigger attack. Yeah, cool. I'm actually going to rename this to is attacking. And we're going to say now, if we're already attacking, then we return. Otherwise, is attacking equals true. Yeah. And then in our update, we can say if is attacking. We'll check our hits. We also want to make sure that we go in here when we perform the attack for the first time. Let's do registered hits.clear. I'm actually going to make this a read-only list, which I'm going to initialize from the get-go. Cool tricks. And then we'll have a public void reset attack here, which will just say is attacking equals false. Cool. So let's have let's have a reference to this now. Serialized field, private sword. Player sword, and we will, for the time being, the validation will be like if we're already doing another action, let's do some other action. Otherwise, we will do player sword dot try perform attack, like so. Cool. Reset the position of that. So what we can do now, let's take off the weapon component, replace it with sword. This is something. This is really something. How's everyone tracking, by the way? Are we keeping up? Because I don't know if I am. Put our animator in there. And actually, we can go on to our animation here. In our sword swing, we're going to remove this first one. On the second one, we're going to set the function to reset attack. I think our player combat controller is already set up with all the buttons. Yep. So let's just add in an awake method to say player input equals controlling player dot get component player input. So now I should be able to attack with the Z key, I think. Let's check the controls first. Attack is a button. Wow, yep, Z. I'm going to just dock this down here. Okay, let's have a look and see. First of all, let's see if we can actually swing our sword. So we can still move. Still move around. I'm pressing Z and nothing's happening. Oh, fantastic. I can dodge. That's good. Let's maybe set this to start instead. How do I do it in the player movement controller? Of course I haven't got a combat controller. That'll do it. Let's put our combat controller on here. Sword is going to be the sword. Controlling player is going to be our player controller. Oh man, okay. This is going to be the last thing I do, and then we can check how things are. And oh, I need to actually set up the animator as well. Right. Going to make a new parameter. Trigger. Attack. And this is going to go from sword default into sword swing. We are going to have no exit time. It is going to be instantaneous. And then we'll have a transition back from sword swing that again has an exit time of 1 and a transition duration of 0. So it's instantaneous. Okay. Let's see how we're looking here. Yep, we got a swinging sword. And I should be able to. Bang! Look at that. We got damage being taken. Oh, let's go. So if I go on my sword and I set the damage to like 50, can we... Is that going to add the force there? Dummy took 50 damage. It's taken the damage. Let's just make sure what's going on inside our test dummy. I guess our force is just naff. That's cool though. We know things are working and we can swing our sword. We can't spam it more than we think. We're only getting 1 hit per thing, which is great. Yeah, fantastic. All right. Oh, see, I really wanna figure out how to do the or how to get this knockback. But for the time being, am I just gonna have done something weird to? Using gravity constraints, we're just freezing the Y position. Maybe I'll unfreeze the Y position and Oh, this should be hitbox. Data dot. No, it should be herbox. No, because the herbox owner is me. That's why. I guess hit detector? The sword is the hit detector, isn't it? No, that's a hit responder. The hitbox is the hit detector. And a hitbox has no reference to its owner. Okay, hit detector dot. I mean, I guess I just want to do data dot hit direction. Really, let's implement that. So back over in our hit data, we're going to have a public vector 3, which is going to be hit direction. And then in our hitbox, hit direction is going to be equal to hit dot direction. No, normal, hit dot normal. So then in our test dummy, we're actually going to use negative hit direction because the normal is going to be backwards, not forwards. Oh, what have I done? Oh, yeah, no semicolon in there. We're constructing a struct. And actually, I think I can probably go onto the cube and put this on the hurtbox layer as well, and it should still work. Because I just don't want it to... I don't want it to glide. Yeah. So we're getting a little force added on there. We can see if I zoom in, he does do a little shimmy. So that's really funny. Let's go ahead on our sword, up the damage to like 200. Just smack it. Whoa! Look at that. Shot way up in the sky. It's probably because of my the hit normal is wrong. I'll have to do some figuring out on the maths. Where's my test dummy gone? Oh my god, he's still going up. He's still going up. Bruh. Oh, he's coming back down. At speed. See if he clips through the floor. Oh my gosh. Where is he? I wonder if we can we see him? There he is. Yep. Straight through the floor. Straight through the floor. But that's cool. Combat effectively works now. So yeah, I mean we can implement this onto like pots. Pots can break and drop coins. Enemies obviously will take damage. We can actually implement this in so many places, and because it's split up in this modular way, we can just stick a hitbox on the front of an arrow or on the front of a hook shot, boomerang. All of it can all have hitboxes. So yeah, that's really cool. I'm happy with that, and that's the main thing I wanted to do today. So thank you guys very much for watching the stream, as always. Like I said earlier, I want to do more streams again. I want to go back to my roots, just kind of implement stuff on the project as I'm going. Just try and get stuff done, do things as I fancy, and kind of document the process of building up the studio as a business, and developing games. Once again, if you want to play any games that we've made or that I've made, there's currently 5 games up on our itch page, the Shiba Dog Studios itch page, which is linked in the description, so you can go and check out some of those. If you're not already, please join the Discord server and wake it up from its very long coma. I definitely intend on sticking some more stuff out there as far as like updates and gifts go. But if you want to keep more up to date with regular posts, be sure to follow me on Twitter at Cuba Makes Games. I'll stick a link for that in the Discord server and in the description of this as well. But on that note, thank you very much everyone for watching and for chatting with me. It's been really good back streaming with you guys again and doing this fun stuff. And yeah, now that I've got things set up with, I've actually got a tripod for the camera, we've got the proper lights, and the Stream Deck is back set up because I have a hub for my laptop now, so I can actually plug things into it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to doing more of these over the Christmas period while I'm waiting to start my new job, and once I've settled in there as well. So yeah, once again, thank you very much guys. I will catch you in